You're being told that the world is racing ahead in AI. However, what I'm about to show you is quite the opposite. Stay with me to see what's really happening. Every week, there's a new AI tool, a wild headline about jobs changing, some viral screenshot of a chatbot doing something insane, and meanwhile, you are just trying to figure out what a prompt even is. It can honestly feel like the whole world is sprinting while you are standing still. In fact, most people you know have not taken a single deliberate step with AI yet. They are seeing the same headlines you are, feeling the same low-level panic, and doing the exact same thing, which is mostly nothing. In the next few minutes, you are going to get a clear picture of what is actually happening with AI, why it suddenly feels like everything changed, and why that feeling of being behind is more about psychology than reality. In this video, you will learn what AI really is without any math or jargon, see simple ways it can help with normal life stuff, and get a couple of beginner-friendly tools to start with. First, the pace of the news is not the same as the pace of real life. AI research has been building for decades, but the big visible jump only hit most people in the last 1 to 2 years when tools like ChatGPT and image generators went public. Overnight, anyone with a browser could try things that used to live in research labs. That sudden visibility makes it feel like the future dropped on us all at once. Social media is basically an AI highlight reel. You see the wildest examples, the most polished demos, the most dramatic predictions. You do not see the millions of people quietly ignoring it or using it in very basic ways. According to McKinsey's 2023 Global AI Survey, about half of companies report using AI in at least one business function. That sounds huge, but flip it around, it also means roughly half are still not using it at all or are only just starting to experiment. So if you feel like you are behind, you are actually standing with a very large crowd. Think about your own feeds. You will see a clip of someone generating an entire video from a single prompt, or a programmer building a whole app in an afternoon with AI, and your brain fills in the blanks and assumes everyone is doing that. In reality, a lot of people are still at the stage of, I tried it once to write an email, and then I closed the tab. Feeling behind is not proof that you are behind. It is mostly a signal that the information around you jumped faster than your chance to process it. That is normal. That is human. This video is not for coders or tech bros who are training neural networks in their spare time. It is for regular people who just do not want to be left out of something important. If you can write an email, search on Google, or send a text, you have all the skills you need to start using AI in a useful way. When you use a chat AI like ChatGPT, it is basically predicting the next word, then the next word, based on everything it has seen. Most of the time, that looks like understanding. Sometimes it means it will sound confident and still be wrong. That is why you still need your own judgment, especially for important decisions. There is AI behind the scenes that you never see. Your bank using fraud detection to flag suspicious transactions. Customer support chatbots trying to answer common questions before a human steps in. Voice assistants like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant using speech recognition and language models to turn your voice into actions. A chat-based AI assistant is basically a smart text box. You type in a question or a task, it thinks for a few seconds, and then it replies in plain language. Tools like ChatGPT, Google-Gemini, and Microsoft-Copilot all work in a very similar way. You do not need to install complicated software. You just go to a website or open an app, make a free account, and start typing. If you can send a text message, you can use this. To give you a sense of how mainstream this already is, analysts at UBS estimated that ChatGPT reached about 100 million monthly active users in just 2 months. That made it the fastest growing consumer app in history at the time. Why does that matter for you? Because it means this is not a niche tech toy. It is something normal people are using to get everyday tasks done. For example, you find a long news article or blog post that looks important, but you do not have 10 minutes to read it carefully. You can copy the text, go to your chat assistant, and say, summarize this article in 5 short bullet points I can understand as if I am new to this topic. Then give me one simple takeaway I should remember. Paste the article below that, hit enter, and you get a clear summary plus a main lesson. Suddenly, dense information feels a lot more manageable. The key skill here is how you prompt the AI, which just means how you ask for help. A simple way to think about it is this. Talk to it like a helpful intern who is smart but does not know you yet. To write successful prompts, give it 3 things. First, a role. For example, you are my writing assistant. Or, you are my meal planner. Second, a clear goal. For example, help me write a polite email, or summarize this article in 5 bullets. Third, some context or constraints. Who it is for, what tone you want, how long it should be, what ingredients you have, what level of detail you need, and so on. You do not have to be perfect. If the first answer is not quite right, you can talk back to it. Say things like, make it shorter, use simpler language, or give me 3 more options. Think of it as a back and forth conversation, not a one-shot magic spell. You are steering, and the AI is doing the heavy lifting, but just remember, do not paste insensitive personal information like your full address, ID numbers, or confidential company data. Let us walk through 3 very normal areas: study, work, and everyday life. And I will show you how AI can sit beside you like a helpful assistant. Start with study and learning. Imagine you have a dense textbook chapter or a confusing article for class. You can copy a chunk of that text, maybe a few paragraphs at a time, and say something like, explain this to me like I am 15 years old. Here is the text, then paste it. Give me a simple summary and 1 real-world example. Now, instead of pretending you understand it, you get a plain language version plus a concrete example you can picture. You can go a step further and ask, create 10 practice questions and answers based on this text. Mix multiple choice and short answer. Now, instead of staring at the page wondering what to focus on, you have a mini quiz you can use to test yourself. Next, plug AI into work and admin tasks. Think about all the messy notes you have after a meeting or a call, bullet points, half sentences, random ideas. You can paste those into your AI assistant and say, turn these rough notes into clear meeting minutes with 3 sections: decisions made, action items with owners, and open questions. Keep it concise and professional. If you have a mix of emails, chat messages, and your own scribbles, you can combine them and say, summarize these messages into a 1-paragraph update, then list 3 key risks and 3 next steps. Use neutral and professional language. You can even have it help you prepare for meetings by saying, based on these notes, draft 3 questions I should ask in tomorrow's meeting and 1 short agenda I can send to the team. That way, you show up prepared without spending your entire evening writing drafts. Now, everyday life. This is where it gets fun. You can also use it for tiny life admin tasks, the little things that often pile up. Type the following. Plan a simple Saturday afternoon activity for 2 adults and 1 child in a small city. Low budget, mostly indoors. You stay in control and you always bring your own judgment and values to whatever it suggests. A good way to think about this is like fitness. You do not need to try every workout trend on social media. You just need a simple routine that you can actually stick to. AI is the same. So what is a simple system that actually works? Step 1, choose 1 main AI assistant and treat it as your home base. Maybe that is ChatGPT or Gemini or Microsoft-Copilot, depending on what is easiest for you to access. The point is, pick 1 and stop worrying about the others for now. When you see a flashy video about some new tool, your first question can be, can I do something similar with the assistant I already have? Most of the time, the answer is yes, or at least close enough. Step 2, set up a tiny weekly routine. I like something in the 15 to 20 minute range. That is short enough that you will actually do it, but long enough to learn something. Pick a day and a time that already exists in your life. For example, Sunday evening, or right after your first coffee on Monday. Step 3, limit your information sources on AI. This is huge for avoiding overwhelm. Instead of following 20 accounts, pick 1 newsletter and 1 YouTube channel or podcast that explain AI in beginner-friendly language. That is it. When you see AI headlines on social media, you can mentally say, if this is really important, it will show up in those trusted sources. You do not need to chase every post. Now, how do you decide what is worth your time as new things come out? Use a simple filter question. Ask yourself, can this help me do something I already do, faster, better, or with less stress? If the answer is no, or if you are not sure, you can safely ignore it for now. Your goal is not to become an AI collector. Your goal is to make your own life easier. So to recap, you went from AI headlines and that racing, left behind feeling to a clear picture of what's actually happening. You saw AI as pattern learning software, not magic, noticed how it already shapes your life, and met chat assistants like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Copilot for everyday tasks. You plugged AI into study, work, and life, and set up a weekly routine so you can stay current without burning out. If you only remember one thing, it's this: you're not late, you're just getting intentional. If this helped you make sense of where AI is actually going, do two things. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and drop your questions in the comments. We'll see you next time.